really want true partnership with the PBMs, and transparency is part of that. They want clear visibility into the costs, and they don't have that. One of the things that we talk about a lot in healthcare lately is that the employers and the employees don't see price tags on what's being purchased, and then they're also not getting the receipts.
Mhm.
So when you're getting data in the aggregate that doesn't give you everything that you need as an employer to determine that the right drug was given at the right price at the right time, there isn't transparency.
Mhm.
So they want to be able to have the kind of information where they can get in and problem solve with the PBM and say, is there a better way?
Mhm.
Are we really purchasing these drugs at the best price? Are the processes to get that drug into the patient's hands clear and not contrived and not a barrier? Prior authorization, et cetera, step therapies, really what's going on there? Are we doing the right thing? Do we need to alter the benefit design? So they really don't have that kind of information to be able to roll up their sleeves with a good partner, PBM, to say, how can we do better for the patient? Because that's what we're all here for. Florida enacted a really comprehensive PBM law 2 years ago, and the governor signed it into law summer of 2023. And we were really pleased to see that the state was really understanding the need for transparency, and monitoring to be able to determine, across the board, all payers, to determine, if everything was on the up and up. So we were pleased to see that. So it has been 2 years. And so now one of the aspects of the law is monitoring of all of the PBMs, and that is underway right now. And the concerns that we have is that this is such a massive analysis and it's costing a lot of money. So the state's contractors are billing the PBMs for the time it's taking to go through this, who are then passing that on to the employers. Unexpected cost that doesn't, at this point, have any upper limit. We are not exactly sure what information will be shared back with the employers. So while the spirit of the law, we're all in
Mhm.
on transparency and being able to have monitoring, but the scope of this monitoring is huge, and it's very expensive, and employers really are operating in the dark in terms of what to expect comes out of this monitoring. So I just want to raise that as an issue. I'm sure the state will have reports and what have you, but right now we're concerned about that cost. Our position at the Florida Alliance, because we have members who are subject to ERISA, who have plan members outside of the state, is that it would be much better to have a national PBM law that looks at transparency, clear line of sight, as I said, into pricing, into rebates, into fees in particular. When you have an employer who has to, abide by different rules and reporting state after state after state, that's very challenging. It's also um, considered to be a violation of ERISA preemption when the states get into that space, and it hasn't proven out in all of the states where that's happened. So I think, for now, having the Florida law makes a lot of sense. I think that there probably needs to be some transparency around the regulations, or perhaps an amendment to the law that puts an upper limit on the cost to be expected by the employer to pay for this monitoring, because it winds up being a hidden tax on employers. And Florida is very, very pro-business, always has been. And, we have low corporate taxes. We don't have, a state income tax. So I know that the state representatives and the senators don't want to put an additional burden on employers, and perhaps they're not aware of the fact that that's maybe a loophole that needs to get closed.